Hi folks, you're with Tassus today at your Pushback channel. In this essay, we're going to look at the Harvey Weinstein conviction and look at some of the issues around that and just see where ideology begins and the legal system starts and the bits in between. So let's get started on that. With the Harvey Weinstein conviction, there's been much noise in sections of the media about the Me Too movement claiming its first really big movie industry scalp, and much tut-tutting about how men are predators and women are victims. While this essay will not argue the merits or otherwise of the case or verdict, we will take issue with the cheap, infantile moralising that has followed. We are going to go against the grain and indicate an alternative narrative, one that suggests women should accept responsibility for their own actions. Whereas I and others may see the casting couch as a somewhat tawdry exercise, one can only wonder on what moral basis do Mr. Weinstein's most vocal detractors square away their vigorous support for termination at full-term birth, gender change for children as young as 10 years, and drag queen storytelling for 3-year-olds. Is Harvey Weinstein just symbolic within the fevered imagination of feminists, a symbol that the feminists hate so much? Let's set the scene and offer some backstory. Mr. Weinstein is, in my view, a great movie industry innovator and risk-taker, starting from the environmental cartoon series about Scandinavian forest gnomes nearly 40 years ago to the epic Lord of the Rings trilogy and many other movies since. He has made the careers of countless movie stars and given a chance of stardom to many an aspiring actor or actress who may otherwise have gone unnoticed. As Mr. Weinstein's influence in the movie industry grew, and it grew not from his failures but from his many, many successes, those folks wanting to get into the movies or move up from, say, B or C level acting list actors would have metaphorically killed or pulled back teeth to get even a minute with Mr. Harvey Weinstein in the hope of encouraging his generosity. One word from Mr. Weinstein and you suddenly have a movie career. It's a very, very powerful incentive to maybe do things that you wouldn't ordinarily do and even may regret later on. People, particularly women, are attracted to success, and many ambitious women will do whatever it takes to get ahead. Few could be described as more successful in his field than Harvey Weinstein. Many would agree that Mr. Weinstein is not gifted with good looks or an athletic physique. He has all the power and money he wants and is also surrounded by young, attractive, eager and motivated young women, some of the most beautiful women in America, women who may do literally anything to get into his good graces. He will quite obviously be attracted to some of these women for their beauty as much as they are attracted to his influence and powers of patronage. Whereas some women may recoil from the casting couch, it is true that many more will fall over themselves to leap onto it. Years of gradually working up through D-level movie parts, years of working as a waitress in a diner or showing off your legs as a waitress in the cocktail lounge in the hope of those extra tips just to pay the rent. All that aggravation can be in your past, all gone with just one word from Mr. Weinstein. It's a powerful incentive. Be realistic though, what would you do in such circumstances? You flunked high school, you ain't no high IQ chick and you know it. You have no skills or useful experience. You have a life of waitressing to look forward to unless you get this big break as an actress. Many aspiring actresses are working class girls from broken homes. Are we to believe that pious concerns about possible moral rectitude dominate their thinking and govern their actions? Just how many would be so very precious about the casting couch in reality? To further appreciate this situation, we also need to understand how the definition of rape and degrees of rape have hugely expanded over recent years to include a range of technicalities that previously didn't exist within the rape story around what constitutes consent. How reasonable is it to apply the laws and ideologically driven standards of today to events that occurred 20 or 30 years ago? If the press coverage is to be believed, Mr. Weinstein is allegedly a legally transgressing sleazebag and hypocrite who must take 100% of all blame for all interactions. But is this view only possible in an ideological world that sees women as eternal victims with no personal agency and thus no personal responsibility, and sees men as oppressors in a universe of patriarchy where women are able to accept no responsibility for any of their schemes or actions to further their careers? You've been with Tassus today at your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.